Welcome back to King 5 News. Life expectancy in the U.S. dropped for a second year in a row.
With all the advances in medicine, aren't we supposed to be living longer? King 5's Ted Land joins us with more on why this is happening and what it's impacting here in Washington. Here, Ted.
Well, Lori and Mark, overall life expectancy for Americans was 78.6 years in 2017. It's a slight drop from the year before, and that's because of two important reasons. The first is drug overdose deaths, primarily from opioids, and there was also an increase in suicide rates. Both of these are important public health issues, treatable conditions which are often connected. Statewide drug deaths involving opioids were 798 last year. That's above the previous high of 720 in 2009. So that's part of why that nationwide life expectancy figure is declining. But some counties in Washington have actually made progress reducing the number of opioid deaths, mainly by expanding the use of naloxone. That's that drug that can reverse an overdose and save a life. In 2011, the Snohomish Health District recorded 140 deaths tied to opioid overdoses. Last year, there were just about 100 deaths, and that number has been relatively level in recent years. I spoke with their health officer about the connection between drug abuse and suicides.
Most people with substance abuse problems also have mental health issues, and some overdoses may be suicides, either in disguise or in reality. I think mental health can lead to substance abuse as well, so I think it goes both ways, and you really have to treat both at the same time to have success.
Health officials in King County say that while opioids are involved in most overdoses, the majority of those involve multiple types of drugs. Methamphetamine-involved deaths increased sharply over the last decade, from 18 in 2008 to 136 last year. Back to you.